welcome to another video. Today we're going to be going over possible Grounded DLC and a possible Grounded 2. Keep in mind watching this that everything that you hear here today from me and everything that I have gathered from information from the community and other YouTubers is complete speculation. They're supporting the game for another 2 years, so honestly there could be DLC, there could not be DLC, there could be tiny updates, there could be big updates. There is hints at like a second Grounded, so it's very possible as well. We're going to go over all that today in today's video. So if you guys do enjoy stuff like this, and if you guys have been enjoying the channel, make sure you guys hit that like, follow, share, subscribe. You already know the vibes. Hit that bell to get notified anytime anything epic happens. I'm Epic, and we're going to get into it. Side note, I just woke up. Alright, so the first thing we're going to go over here is a possible Grounded 2, and then we'll get into like all the actual possible DLC things. There's only one thing in the game right now that alludes to Grounded 2 and another Grounded, and that will be the milk carton in this part of the yard. So we're going to get over here and we're going to talk about it. So as you guys can see, the milk carton over here, it has 4 additional teens on it. We're going to get more into it when we actually get there. Yeah, so as you guys can see here, there's 4 additional teens. Oh, I just fell off. 4 additional teens on this milk carton. Now, why is this kind of critical to the hinting at Grounded 2? Ominent did a bunch of tests on a bunch of different teens. So the fact that we're the only 4 is very highly unlikely. There could be literally many more games, or maybe they could add more teens into this game. Of just different areas, different parts of the world with, you know, more bugs than we have in this yard. Even if they don't add more bugs to this yard, we could have more bugs in another game like Grounded 2, Grounded 3 if they do continue to make them. Grounded has been picking up a lot of popularity lately, so I wouldn't put it past them to actually make a sequel once they're done supporting this game. So like I was saying, it's the only real hint that we have at Grounded 2 right now. We're going to go over a couple different things, like we have possible DLC, new bugs, and stuff like that. So we're going to go over that here in a second. So one of the first new bugs or animals we're going to talk about is the Leech. The Leech was in the game since like the early access. It was in the files and it never made it to the full game. So the fact that they had it completely coded in the public playtest and it was in the game and then they cut it is very, very suspicious. Maybe they were saving it for another underwater dungeon. We're going to get more into dungeons here in a second. But the fact that they completely designed the Leech and had it ready and then they didn't put it in the game makes me think that they had it planned for another DLC release that actually fit it more. They already gave us enough with the pond. They gave us the water boatman, they gave us diving bell spiders, and they gave us the tadpoles. So it's 3 underwater creatures with the whole underwater biome. They could have easily made the decision that, hey, we're going to save the Leech for a DLC that we're going to add to the pond. Now again, it's all speculation, but again, I mean, take it all with a grain of salt with how popular Grounded is. I wouldn't put anything past them to be saving content for more DLC releases. After all, they are going to be supporting this game for 2 more years. They'd be smart to save some content that they've already worked on to release later. Alright, we're going to head to the upper yard now. We're going to talk about a bug that was supposed to come to the upper yard, and I'll see you guys there. Every time I make a video, bro, leave me alone. Alright, so the next bug that's going to be added was never actually in a playtest. It was never actually introduced into the game, but there is something that really does hint at its arrival, and it has been in the game since the whole upper yard area was added. So we're going to go over that and talk about that here in a second. So I actually just ran around over there and couldn't find any of them, but I know that they are over there. But the things that I'm talking about are the little pupas, and we'll get into that in a second. So pupas, right? Now these can be a couple things, but I know for one thing that they were working on and that multiple of the YouTubers were talking about were silverfish. Silverfish are bugs that like to burrow, and they're little bugs. They're really not that big. But they were supposed to be added to the whole upper yard area, and you know, be another bug that kind of digs underground as well. So the fact that they didn't get added and just these pupas did can kind of signify that maybe they were working on it for something else, or maybe just another drop full of bugs. So yeah, pupas could hint at silverfish. Now there's only one other bug that really is a chance of being added, and I don't know of many other that were in the actual game files or anything like that, but it would be just more spiders. The devs are very, very sick-minded, and they've actually said before that you know, their fans and audience aren't expecting to add more spiders, so that's exactly why they added the Black Widow. They added the Black Widow because they're like, okay, yeah, another spider, let's add that other spider. So just kind of interesting to me. So nonetheless, those are the new bugs that could be added in the future. Again, take it all with a grain of salt and speculation. We're going to get onto the new DLC, which could be dungeons. And I don't see enough people talking about this, but they had the perfect platform for dungeons, and I will tell you guys exactly why. So the first one that we're going to go over here is the actual termite dungeon. Now they've already did a big number with this, but I will show you guys something that is very, very suspicious. Very, very suspicious. Okay, so for the termite dungeon, we already have the termite king, but if you come down this way, keep running this way, this area is auspiciously just filled with mushrooms, so it's very, very weird. But if you keep coming, this area keeps going down, and it actually hits a wall where there's always termites down here working on it. So that could lead me to believe that there is a way to get under the shed through the wood pile, and that'll actually lead you to the termite queen. Now, again, speculation only, but there's also this other way, which is all just filled with mushrooms. So again, anything could be possible here, but it comes down here really, really far, and it just kind of ends here with like a rock here. I don't know why they would put a rock here. It doesn't make a noise when you hit it, so it could be possibly anything. So the termite queen dungeon could be a possible thing. We have the termite king. I don't know why they want to just add the termite queen to begin with. I don't know. I thought termites and anything would come from a female of the species, you know, that lay eggs and stuff. That could just be me. We also have this piece of wood right here that is auspiciously blocked off. So again, termite queen dungeon could be down there. If you come down here towards the termite king, hopefully he's not spawned. I don't gotta deal with him. He is. That's great. Gotta love it. Leave me alone, dude. I'm trying to show people something. So we have this area back here, which is like corroded. That could be a new area. Ow, dude, I'm gonna die. RIP me. And we also have this area back here that could be also added as well. So again, a bunch of areas in the termite like dungeon now that could be added and expanded upon, but that's just one. I'm gonna go into all the other areas like a black ant queen, like the beehive, and like the under the sandbox dungeon that was actually talked about today by many YouTubers. There's supposed to be a big boss under the sandbox in the cave behind the sandcastle. So we have 3 more areas to go over. Let's go over them. Also, another very interesting area that they added with 1.0 is the termite area in the fence that I showed y'all like a week or so ago. In the fence now there are termites, so very curious as to a grounded DLC or grounded 2. It could very possibly lead us to the other side of the fence with what these termites are doing here. The fence is right here. If they were to start chewing through this, it very possibly could lead us to the other side of the fence and give us a grounded 2 with other teams in another backyard. So very suspicious here. But now we are going to get back onto the track and go and talk about the sandbox possible dungeon. And they really had the sandbox completely like molded and like done. They had it completely designed. If y'all would like to, go check out one of Mediocre Milton's shorts. He makes good grounded videos. One of his shorts actually talks about it, and he actually shows pictures of the boss that they had planned. So here we are at the sandbox. The area in question has actually been tampered with multiple times, so I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about here in a second. So the area in question is actually behind the sandbox. Now behind here, this used to actually go down underneath the sandbox, but they had a rock down there, and now just recently for 1.0 release they moved the rock to up here, and it makes no sound when you hit it. So it could be something that isn't physical, just a placeholder, but there was supposed to be a giant lizard boss under there. So that is very suspicious. Now again, I'm just going off of some information that the community and other YouTubers have pulled up, but with there being that there and they've tampered with it multiple times, it could be a possible dungeon coming to DLC within the next 2 years while they support this game. Now, why are they supporting the game for 2 years? That's suspicious too. Maybe a grounded 2? I don't know. Just speculation and just thoughts inside my brain. And just a very quick rundown on that. It's supposed to be like a lizard boss and, you know, just stuff like that. So, very interesting. We're going to go over the next dungeon here while we're zipping across here, which is going to be the beehive that has been moved from the picnic table to up in the tree. We're going to go over that in the next morning. So you guys can see the beehive from here. We're going to go over that in the morning again, like I said, but the beehive would be the 3rd of possible dungeons to come to the game. So in order to show you guys this one, I'm going to actually come and use my bridge here that I built in the very beginning of the game before there were zip lines. I'm going to run over here. I'm going to go over what the Beehive dungeon could possibly be. So, being here, the Beehive is right up there behind all them branches. You see it right on my dot there. I've always found it very suspicious that there were parts of the tree chipped off, and I also found it very suspicious that there were mushrooms on the inside of the tree. Now this could mean one of two things: just aesthetic, and the Beehive just needed a place to be, or two, when they finally do design the tree a little bit more, we'll be able to get inside of the tree and use bits and pieces to climb all the way up and get to the Beehive and maybe fight the bee queen and stuff like that. So I've just always found it very suspicious that there are mushrooms on the tree and bits and pieces just kind of flaked off. Could be a very big hint to the Beehive dungeon. So that again is the third dungeon. We're gonna go over the last dungeon, which would be the Black Anthill dungeon, and see about what we could think about that. And again, these are just ideas that have came to my head, and I don't see why they wouldn't add them. They've done a lot of suspicious stuff, so the fact that they've changed things and altered them in such ways that are very suspicious definitely makes me believe that there could be a lot of support for the game within the next 2 years. The game's gained a lot of popularity, so I don't see why they wouldn't add, you know, if they're going to support the game for 2 years, I don't see why they wouldn't add like 2 dungeons a year along with a bunch of other bugs to go with it. You know, they definitely have a lot in the works that they could just add that is just cut content at this point. I don't see why they wouldn't try to add content that they've had to cut. It's just more content for their game, you know, and to gain traction to then release a possible Grounded 2 based on those other kids on the milk box is, you know, it's kind of an idea that comes to my head, so I don't see how it wouldn't come to the developers' heads unless they're just not that focused on it. So again, we are here at the sandbox. We're going to go down to the Black Ant Hill, and we're going to go over where this Black Ant Queen could be. Following these lights deeper into the Black Ant Hill. As you're coming down to fight the assistant manager, there's a little hole over here in the wall, right? And you use these there's rocks here you have to blow up to actually get in here, and there's some weird stuff in here. Like, it's just a weird cave, so this could either be, like I said, an ant queen or possibly a centipede boss. The areas look definitely similar to what a centipede would crawl around in, and there's these little things here as well. So I mean, could be an ant queen, could be a centipede boss, could be either or. So yeah, we went over possible Grounded 2, silverfish, leech, spiders, Ant Queen dungeon, Termite Queen dungeon, Beehive dungeon, under the sandbox, all that good stuff. So of course that doesn't include the possible dungeons that could be added to the upper yard, like a Fire Ant Queen dungeon or a Fire Ant dungeon and all the other stuff. These are just a few things that I picked and cherry picked and got from the community and other YouTubers. So thank you guys. So if you guys did enjoy this, and if you guys are enjoying the content and all in the channel lately, make sure you guys hit that like, follow, share, and subscribe. You already know the vibes. Hit that bell to get notified anytime anything epic happens. I'm Epic. Check out anything else on the channel. Check out all the links down in the description, and I will catch you all in my next whenever I make it. Thank you all so much for all the support, and I will see you all next time.